Hi, I'm Dr. Stevie, and this video we're going to talk about how emotions can create problems. We discussed how emotions are subconscious or they're not a conscious process. It's a bunch of information that we quickly gather and then throw over to our logic brain. So two different parts of our brain do two different things. Emotions are one part, logic is another, more evolved part. Now, what we see that creates the problems is when those emotions kind of overtake us and make us do things that we wouldn't have done logically. Well, how does that work? If I'm working really hard to be this logical person and make decisions based on information, then why would my feelings ever be an issue anyways? Because they're irrelevant or they're not really there. And it's that train of thought that usually creates a lot of problems, and it creates sometimes more problems than what it's trying to solve. So there are a couple different analogies that people use. I really like the elephant and rider analogy. So let's talk about that one. We have our emotions, and they are this big beast. They're huge elephant. So that's our emotional feeling part of our brain is this elephant. Imagine that. And then your logical part of the brain is the rider, the one sitting on top, the one that makes the directions, the one that does everything. And when the two are working hand in hand, you can do a lot of different stuff. So when my feelings are going along with what I'm thinking, we can set and make plans and accomplish everything. What happens sometimes is our feelings kind of become overstimulated and it doesn't go with the logic. And what would happen if an elephant decides it doesn't want to listen to the rider anymore? It's going to go take off, right? It doesn't have to listen to this puny rider on top, so it's going to go do our thing. And then the rider is trying to get all the control over it and be like, no, listen to me, and pull the elephant back on track. But that's not going to work. And then both of the elephant and the rider are lost and nothing is getting accomplished. And that's kind of what happens with our feelings is if I have everything's going well, something comes up, I get emotionally flooded. And unless I deal with that emotion, it's going to take over everything. And my logic brain might come in and say, don't feel that. Why are you feeling it? As a stupid way of reacting and trying to get a hold of those emotions to put them back in track. But that's not really how it works. Because emotions are, again, going back to the analogy about the digestive system, emotions are a subconscious, uncontrollable thing. They just happen. But if we let them go and we let them calm down, like if the elephant takes off, what do? Just soothe the elephant. Let it relax. Once it feels better, then you can get control over it. And our feelings are kind of that way. Or yes, they can go out of control. But if we just try to logic our way, tell us what not to think, don't feel that way, don't think that way, the person didn't mean it, what that does is just spiral us out of control. Whereas if we were to take the time and address your emotions, they wouldn't have this underlying control over you. Let me give you an example. Road rage, right? We can be driving down the road and this happens every once in a while, and it happened the other day. I was driving and then I guess I wanted to go in the other lane. The person behind me didn't want me to go, so I went in the lane anyways. He was, flashing his blinkers or whatever, and as soon as I pulled over, he was, flipping me off, honking, whatever. My emotions are going to be like, oh my gosh, oh, and scared, angry, upset, happy, whatever. All these emotions happen, and it's a physical experience. Your heart rate goes up, you're ready to fight or flight, you're ready to do this. Now, I could go into, oh yeah, you did that to me, well, I'm going to do this to you, and I could go into this big race and we could end up in a car crash. And that is letting those emotions just come over and me kind of jumping in logically into it and rationally going in and be like, yeah, these emotions, no, you shouldn't do that, and then go on. Or I could hide and be like, I shouldn't feel that way, I should just be this way, and telling myself what I should feel, and then still all those emotions are going to stay there. However, if I were to take the moment, let the person pass, hopefully they do if I don't do anything, and this guy actually did pass, and I was able to sit and be like, oh, It's a lot of stuff going on. My heart rate's up. I'm feeling angry. I'm feeling all this, and name all the emotions. That's like soothing the elephant. I'm calming him down. I'm letting those feelings that really just want to be heard because they happen, they want to come out, and naming them, giving them that voice so that they can be heard, and then they're done. So after sitting in the car naming all the emotions, maybe a minute later, my blood pressure comes back down, I can breathe better, and I can continue on my drive, and then the guy doesn't bother me anymore. It's gone. I've had all the emotions. It doesn't bother me. It's when we make that stop in the middle of the emotion and it's like, no, I should do this or I shouldn't do this. I could have not chased him, but still, oh, I shouldn't feel this way. I shouldn't feel that way. Or I should have done this. And all these things are logical thoughts, and I'm putting them in my head. What that does to the feelings is it keeps them there. They stay there, and they're still like permeating all of your body and making your thoughts go kind of crazy, and they don't let go. It would be almost like if I have to go, I mentioned earlier, drink a lot of water. If I have to go pee really bad, I could pretend that it's not there, or I could, try to be like, no, I have to let this go, or I shouldn't have to do this. I have to do this. I could ignore it, but I'm still going to feel the need to do it, and it's going to hurt. And as much as I try to pretend that I don't have to pee, that's really all I'm going to think about. So even though I'm not going to the bathroom, I'm sitting here doing my work, or I'm doing everything, really in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I gotta go pee. So as much as I'm trying to not have to do something that needs to happen, my body's doing this, it's actually really negatively impacting everything else. And so that's where emotions do create a lot of our problems, is they come up uncontrollably and we don't know, and then we try to use our weak logic brain to then tamp it down, pretend that they're not there, tell ourselves what we should feel or what we shouldn't feel. And what that does is it encases the feelings and lets the feelings stay in our body and then control everything. And our feelings are kind of like little kids. They really do want attention, and they're going to keep whining and keep bothering you until they get that attention. You can try to hide it, or you can try to think about what you should and shouldn't do. But regardless of your logical efforts, the feelings are there. And it isn't until you can give them attention and let them come out that they stop influencing you. So again, the elephant and the rider. If the elephant decides it wants to go do something, the best thing to do is kind of soothe the elephant, relax, give it attention, and then be like, okay, let's get back on course. And then together, the elephant and the rider can get on course. So now that we know what the emotions are, how we don't control them, and now where we see the problem is when we try to think instead of feeling the emotions through. The next and final video, I will go over some tips about how to really work through those emotions so that they don't stay inside you and control everything. Okay, thank you very much.